Welcome back to Streamline Investigations. We're going to go into the Streamliner messengers. Thank you very much, people, for your replies. Shannon said and Josie were photographed in Peterborough. Speculations about them talking with a gentleman about listing Opar for sale. Turned out to be some rep from an energy company. I can't remember the name of the article, but apparently they were loading up on supplies as well. Hope this helps. Thank you very much indeed. Linda says, I tend to agree with you, Marvin, when you talk about the whole family setup. I also tend to think they have influence, and this is why we are not getting any answers yet. I think they know people in high places. Lynn says, the story gets more confusing every day. It seems to be going around in circles. I don't think they will talk. If it was a little boy, I would be pleading for help off everyone to help find my baby. It's truly heartbreaking for the innocent, beautiful boy. Let's pray for justice. Dear little Gus, praying every day for him. It's definitely a really frustrating case, but I love the sort of love and support that people want him alive and safe. I really respect that. Thank you very much, Lynn, for that beautiful message. Shannon and Josie, says Cheryl, was seen at the supermarket car park, probably in Peterborough. Shannon was holding a shopping trolley and was wearing a beanie. Vote was in the Daily Mail on the 13th, article written by Carly Smith. Thank you very much. It's not their house, it's Jesse's house, apparently. Interesting stuff, Marilyn. Thank you, Cheryl. Dreamtime Walker, there has to be a criminal investigation to find the truth. That was interesting about the soil forensics. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was a brilliant article. Thank you, Dreamwalker, and I agree with you. A criminal investigation must take place at some time. When, though, we just don't know. Cancel says, I really don't think the police should be investigating themselves. I do think, yeah. Interesting. Yeah. They don't like the public asking questions. It is our hope that those questions will somehow help. This is by Jocelyn Zoo. Will somehow find the poor little child, or at least discover what happened to him. Too little, too late, as far as I'm concerned. Now, after more than 9 weeks, they have going searching those 6 mine shafts. I know. Good point. One of them could clearly be seen on the first aerial view of the property, question mark, all that time ago. Well said. This is just wrong, question mark. My mind hopes to God that Gus is with the mother and father somewhere and his little 2-year-old brother. Hope they all safe away from what seems to be unsafe and toxic environment for little children, as the father Joss has often said. Maggie Nixon, because of the blood on the property, first footage. It's a really, really good point. We don't know where that's technically. I've not basically. I looked back into it, but I've not read anything of that. To be honest with you, could it have been from before or an animal? Who knows? Very strange though. Senator Pitty says it is true that Shannon, the trans one, used to be a senior copper in that nearby town. We're just waiting for more information on that to come in. Don's looking into it and we'll be back on the show tomorrow. Cheryl Jones says, I read comments only once that Josie, the transgender grandmother, was a cop. I'm thinking police Masons covered up Gus's accidental death. I think Cheryl, a lot of people are thinking that now, if that's true. But like I said, we're waiting for clarification on that before I can say yes or no. Yeah, are you Senator Pitty from the Jay Slater case? Hello, Cheryl. I think she is. Yeah, Senator Pitty. No, honey. Oh, there's a load of us. 3478 isn't my postcode. Is now many users thought of the name before me. Sorry, oh, it's not the same one. Oh, yeah, different one. Okay, I smiled too. That's funny. That's funny when you get the same name and you think it's someone else from another channel of mine. That is very, very interesting, people. Oh, yes, a few more. Cancel says, Shannon, or a frail old lady, was on the porch to the left when Josie produced the gun. She was heard saying, they are going, but Josie was yelling anyway. I wonder if the frail lady is pretending to be Shannon, if the real one has passed away. Yeah, I do think there's something very bizarre going on. I really do. Anything is possible with this mob. It just wouldn't surprise me, cancelled at the end of the day. But like I said, let's just go with what the obviously the mail is saying and the police are saying that technically they're still alive and they're still obviously talking to the police at the end of the day until we are different at the end of the day because we don't want to sort of promote what is not true out there, even though there are conflicting information with myself, Ali, and basically Dom at the end of the day. But like I said, you just don't know in this case. It's just completely odd. I'd be interested to know there were the boundaries of limitations to where Boland could search, or he was given a free reign to search anywhere and everywhere he felt necessary. I'd be surprised if that actually, if he had a free reign, to be honest with you, my favourite Martin. One glaring issue over the Boland being designated tracker to Southpole is that he's known to have worked for the Murrays in the past. Oh my God. So it's surely a conflict of interest having a past or present employee of the missing boy family working on one side of the police, especially if the Murrays have had a hand in their grandson's disappearance. Yeah, definitely. Because how much can we trust that what Boland said about there's been zero trace of Gus or around the Oak Park property is true? Yeah, definitely. If they have, you know, especially if they know each other. For all we know, Boland may actually have found tracks or traces evidence of someone known to Gus that might suggest that Gus was taken from the property and out of loyalty to the Murrays, he's chosen to remain silent about it. That's possible. Anything's possible. Or he's been ordered or paid to keep it quiet. Ben Copper could be. Or he could be telling the truth about being no trace or around the property, which would be a strong indicator that the Sandpit story provided by Gus's family was fabricated, and Southpole simply won't come forth and admit they got it wrong and change tack. Interesting. An interesting side note, after Googling Ronald Boland, two indigenous trackers by the name of Jimmy James and Daniel Moodoo were brought in to help to find an 8-year-old girl who went missing in the Adelaide Hills back in 1966. Her name was Wendy Pfeiffer. She was missing for 3 days after being dragged into a car by a man stabbed and abandoned in the bush. Miraculously, she was found alive by James and Moodoo. Fast forward to 2025, and little Gus Lamont has been missing for 2 months without a trace. Interestingly, his maternal godfather name was Ulsha Pfeiffer. What other chance? Sadly, the indigenous tracker in Gus's case have not succeeded in locating him. This is crazy. We're starting to get some really, really good sort of connections here. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Martin, as well for your information. And please keep what you get out. Please keep bringing it out. Thank you, because we need it. Janny says, is the law uneven if someone is mentally fragile? The family need to be held accountable. Anyone else would have been taken and questioned separately. That needs to be happened. No choice of Gus at all. Jen says, I totally agree. Obviously, the family knows someone in high places. It's bizarre. It really, really is bizarre in that we've just got no leads in this case. And that's what hurts the most. Linda says, think so too. Replying to Pam there. I think that's all the up-to-date messages, people. Thank you very much for your support. Keep your messages coming. And like I said, I've got Don back on the show tomorrow, so we're going to have a lot of discussion on where we are and what is his thoughts on the Gus Lamont case. But like I said, we've got to keep putting his name out there. And there's some fantastic messages. And like I said, I do try to reply for everybody. Thank you. Take care, people.